About a track meet at the Bishop Lachlan Games. I think that's the name of it. It was at the Armory. I think it was the Bishop Lachlan Games. I'm almost sure it was. It was at the Armory in Spanish Harlem. It's kind of an epic story of my life, and what made it interesting was it was indoor season, winter, and it was the first year they were really having indoor pole vaulting. So all of us on the track team meet at school. It's a Saturday morning. We meet at the school. We get on the bus. I know it's a long trip into Spanish Harlem, so I run off the bus to take a piss into the locker room because I've got, weak kidneys and nervous. So I go into the locker room, take a piss, come back out into the parking lot, and the bus is gone. They left without me. Now, I was, kind of rated on Long Island as a pretty good pole vaulter, so it was pretty essential that I show up on this because I could maybe win this meet. So I said, okay, so how am I going to get to the airports, or to the meet rather? And so I go over to my friend Bob Campy's house, and I said, Bob, the bus left without me, Bob. So I went to Bob Campy's house, and I said, Bob, man, I need a ride to the Bishop Lachlan Games. Where's that, Brad? It's in Spanish Harlem in New York City. Oh boy. So it's Saturday morning, we get into Bob's Volkswagen Bug, and we drive into New York City to the Armory where this meet is, and he drops me off, and I decide to try to find the bus that left without me because my pole is inside the bus. So I can't vault without a pole, right? So I run around all these blocks all over the place looking for the bus. Seems like hundreds of buses everywhere, but none of which was our bus. So I never found the pole. So I go inside the Armory, and everybody's off doing their own thing. I've got nobody to talk to, nobody to help me or anything like that. So I just check into the pole vault area, and the pole vault is now almost over. There is a few guys still left, still jumping, but I have no pole. And so I asked the guys that were still jumping if I could borrow one of their poles, and they politely said no. You can't use my pole. Why would I give you my pole? You're going to beat me, right? So I had to now walk around the whole arena looking for somebody that would allow me to use her pole. And I found a guy that was out of the competition early, and I said, could I please borrow your pole? And he said, yeah, sure, you can use my pole. Now at this time, there is one person left in the competition, and it's almost over, and I walked down to the official and said I would like to join the competition. And he said, well, you're late, and you don't get any warm-ups because the warm-ups were 3 hours ago. But good luck. So I measured my steps, and I took one, I think it was like 12 feet 6 inches, something like that. And I measured my steps, and I took my first jump, and basically my first jump was just to see if my steps were kind of like close. So I run through. The first attempt basically was a run through, a waist. And then I adjusted my steps a little bit. And then my second jump was really, really close. My plant was very, very close to being right on. I jump, I go under the bar, or crash into the bar, or something like that. But my third attempt, I knew what kind of adjustments I needed to make, and I cleared the bar on my third attempt, and I win the meet. Now, it was just kind of funny. It's not very high, of course, but, in 1971, and there's no indoor track and field season, this was kind of cool. So, you get this unbelievably beautiful trophy. It's still at my parents' house. It's just gorgeous. And then the media gets a hold of my story about missing the bus and all that stuff, and it makes, the radio and the newspaper and all this stuff.
What newspaper was it in?
I don't remember, but I remember it was in some newspapers. maybe Newsday. I don't know.
You don't have a record of that.
No, I don't. I don't. And so, but a radio person did interview me, pretty much just like this, and except that I was a kid. And but it was a great experience. But the problem was with it is that the guy that got second really was pissed because he had the meat in the bag. And so here I come showing up at the end of the meet when he's pretty much got the trophy in the car, and I swooped it out from under his feet, and he was not very happy about it, which I don't blame him. But anyway, I think if I remember correctly, I returned the pole to the guy that loaned me the pole and thanked him, and I did get a ride home on the bus with the rest of the team. So that was pretty much the whole story.
All right, thanks, Brad. That was great. And today is January 27th,
I don't know.
2014.
Let's check our devices here. It's the 28th.
28th.
It's January 28th, 2014.
Okay, so we're talking like 43 years ago.
43 years ago. Can you believe that? My God.
All right, thank you, Brad.
You're welcome.
Brad, what pole vault awards did you win when you were in high school?
In high school, I did my freshman year. I held the state record for freshmen, the entire state of New York, not just not Long Island. Long Island's not a state. Duh. I would have done it my sophomore year, but I missed the pit at Syosset High School and broke my ankle. And I was jumping about 13.6 then, my sophomore year. My junior year, I was doing 14.4, which was a state record for junior. And then my senior year was 14.8.5, something like that, and that was an all-around state record. That didn't really hold for very long, but it still was a state record. I won all kinds of other meets and did all kinds of wonderful things in high school. As a matter of fact, I still hold my high school's record of 14.8 1/4, and that's primarily because pole vaulting is dangerous. So in New York, they now have schools that are designated, sanctioned places where proper coaching, proper pits, proper everything is supervised. And so most high schools don't even have pole vaulting anymore because too many kids are getting killed. So I think it's safe to say that my high school record's going to stay intact for a while.
Unbelievable.
And then I also high jumped in high school, and I won the county championships. My 9th grade, I won the indoor county championships. And I think I won a couple of other county championships in, pole vaulting and and stuff like that. I think I did in high school. I did 6.4 maybe in the pole vault. And then when I went to college, I did 17.1.5 in the pole vault and 6.8 in the high jump.
Tell me how your success in the pole vault in high school led to college for you.
Well, it was basically, I had really lousy grades, so I went to junior college my first 2 years, and I was recruited to a junior college in Phoenix, Arizona, and my dad, encouraged me by saying, if you really want to jump high and do well, go to Arizona where you can train year-round. So I did that and went to Phoenix College for 2 years. And my sophomore year, I did 16.4 there and held that school record for about 12 years, maybe. And then I went to Northern Arizona University that had a really nice indoor facility at the time. It is still there. And I did 17 there and held that school record for about 12 or 15 years. And I won the Big Sky Conference 2 years in a row and broke that record and held that record for 15 years. And then I was inducted in the Sports Hall of Fame at NAU in 2007, 32 years after me doing it. So, you know, it was fun, but, you know, I haven't really talked about it or done anything about it or with it basically since. Tried to do some coaching a little bit, but coaching, I could not afford to be a coach because there's absolutely no money in it. And I tried to vault a little bit after school and couldn't afford to do that either because it takes time and I had to work and poles are expensive and school access to facilities to train where I lived at the time were nil. So it was just, you know, something I did in my youth and I had to grow up. And here we are today.
Here we are today. Brad, thanks. Thanks for clarifying all that, and that's great. Yeah, really appreciate it. All right.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Peace, bro.
Peace, bro.